All right, here we go. Week 3 of the program, Monday. We're going to get back to back squats. So you guys can see we worked on some sumo squats last week, and we're just going to alternate between back squats and sumo back squats. So this week, we got our back squat. Every 2.5 minutes, we're going to do one back squat, pausing 8 seconds at the bottom. So the first week, if you guys remember, it was 10 seconds. This week, we're going to do 8 seconds. So it means a little bit less time under tension in the bottom of the squat. So we can progress the load a little bit. I would say like maybe 5-10% from last time. So look at your numbers and just see if you can bump it up a little bit. We want to make a gradual change. And I want you to build up to a set that feels like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Still leave some in the tank. We're not going to a 1 rep max here. Really good to build strength. This is kind of like a isometric in a way because we're going to hold the bottom and we're trying to maintain tension at the bottom there. So when you're at that bottom position, make sure you're keeping good length in the spine. Don't relax the pelvis or the low back. That's when you're kind of seeing like a little butt wink kind of action happening. So try to keep good upright posture there. And then this is a good time to work on depth as well. So if you struggle with depth, this is a good time to kind of deload, use a weight that you can get really good depth while maintaining good positioning too as well. So if you're in that category, make that your focus for the next little while. If you're looking to kind of bump up that squat strength, obviously still maintaining depth, but then let's kind of push the load a little bit more, really focus on good positioning when we're hitting that bottom position there. When we're finished the workout, we're going to finish off with something a little fun. We haven't really done chippers as much, so this one's going to be a AMRAP style. Normally with chippers, we kind of go through it once, but the goal is to see if we can get through this laundry list of movements at least once. So it's a 12-minute AMRAP, 120 double unders to start. Then we're going into 20 dual dumbbell push press, 40 box jumps, 60 sit-ups, 40 box jumps, and then back to the dual dumbbell push press. And if we can, see if we can get back to the double unders. Just by looking at that workout, I would say like it will be close. I don't see anybody really finishing or getting close to getting that second round done. I think it's definitely going to be a one rounder. So see if you can get through that one round. A lot of today is supposed to be more conditioning based. So make sure you pick progressions that allow you to move. You'll notice that the dumbbell push press weight isn't at 50-35 like that standard. You'll see it's 35-20, just so you guys can just keep moving throughout this one, just to get that aerobic stimulus out of this one, less of like being held back by the strength of the movement or the skill of the movement. So, and double unders, if you have them, do them. If you don't, let's break them into single unders, whether it's a 1-to-1 ratio or 2-to-1 ratio, based on kind of where you're at with your level of skipping there. So that's Monday. Going into Tuesday, we're going to get into our conditioning. We're going to get back to those incremental sets from week 1. 3-minute AMRAP. So what this means is 15 wall balls. Then we're going into 12/8 calorie row. And then whatever's remaining, we're going to do burpees over the med ball in the remaining time. Now, the goal is every round you're scoring more and more burpees each round. So let's say first round you score 10, the next round try to get 11, then 12, then 13, and so forth. So that means you got to whip through the wall balls and the calorie row faster every single time, but you choose how fast you go in the beginning and how fast you will end up at the end. So if I were you, kind of start that first round at a 6 to 7 out of 10 pace and then slowly bump that up over time. Don't go out really fast and then make it a struggle for yourself to even have your reps go up. Because if you sprint the first round, it's going to be really hard and unrealistic to have your reps go up every round. And that's the point of the workout. The reason I got you to do incremental sets is to get you to pay attention to pacing a little bit more. So instead of just trying to keep it consistent, we're going to try to kind of go at a gear 1 in the first round, then a gear 2, gear 3, gear 4, and then the last round at gear 5. So think of it like that when you're going in this workout today. But good one to build endurance and pacing, and that's kind of what we're after. Wednesday, we're going to go into some handstand push-up work. So we're going to work on the handstand push-up itself, keeping it strict today. So 5 of those. 10 shoulder taps from handstand, and then a 15 to 30 second handstand hold. So a lot of inverted positioning. working on strength and positioning here. And the goal is to get a lot of quality and practice out of the movements. So we're not taking these movements to failure. So if you do need to do less reps, do that. I'd rather you work in a range where you have full control of the movements, and you're getting good repetitions out, but it's still challenging you to maintain positions as well. So we don't want it to be very easy. We want a little bit of struggle there, but we don't want it to be like an endurance factor where like now your muscles are just getting fatigued and like you've done so many repetitions, you can't keep the form. I don't want you to go to that point. So use that 15 minutes to really practice that. And then our workout, we kind of let loose here, 3 rounds for time, 100-foot overhead dumbbell carry, 1 dumbbell. And then we're going to go for 20 alternating dumbbell snatches, and then another 100-foot overhead dumbbell carry, and then 7 bar muscle ups. We haven't seen this kind of skilled movement in a long time. For those that have it, go for it today. I would say like be able to do obviously muscle ups if you're going to do it for this workout. If you don't have them, we're going to substitute them with either 7 challenging pull-up progressions. So something that feels tough for 7, you're going to probably do just a few at a time, or 14 light to moderate level challenging pull-ups. So it's going to be more of an endurance thing for you. So you can kind of choose your own adventure in this one. If you want to go down the strength route, we can do more of a challenging pull-up progression for 7 reps. And then if you want more of the endurance cardio stimulus, I would go towards that 14 rep range of whatever that is for you. So personal opinion on this one, I would say a lot of you guys are going to be held back by strength. So if that's if you are held back by that, let's work on that. If you know that you need maybe a little bit more endurance work, that's the direction you can go with by increasing the repetitions for yourself. But I would say a majority of you would need more of a strength focused progression than a endurance focused progression, but do it based on where you're at and what your goals are. Thursday's workout, we're going to go back to our kind of like novel movements that will help us kind of access different movement ranges that we don't really get throughout our regular week. And this is going to help you guys strengthen those kind of areas that, again, like we don't really access as much. So it's going to be a good way to create some novelty, but it also is in a way creating some armor or maintenance work to make sure your body is moving in a good way and you're not creating inefficiencies or opening up the room for injuries. This is more injury prevention work in a way, and it's fun because it's different and it keeps it's unique, it's novel. Like I said, you're going to be moving in different planes that you're not used to. So we're going to be doing something for lower body, we're going to work on upper body and our core, so all 3 kind of sections, and we're working on like different movements with a band for this one. So a lot of rotational presses, or not for this one, sorry, kettlebells. We got dumbbells and kettlebells for this one, some bands, and then we got some kind of lunging movements too in this one. So it's going to be good. 8 to 12 reps per side. So we're kind of going on the end of building more endurance and some strength there. And we're looking for 3 to 5 sets to be done within the 15 minutes there with some good rest in between. So really focused strength and skill work is going to be the focus there. And then our workout, 10 minutes, real quick, buy-in, 25 cal row for the guys, 20 for the ladies. And then we're going to go into 50 feet of broad jumps, followed by 7 kettlebell swings. And you're just going to go back to back for as many reps and rounds you can do of the broad jumps and the kettlebell swings. You're doing the calorie bike only 1 time. So just keep that in mind. That's your buy-in into the workout. So conditioning at a higher intensity is going to be the stimulus of this workout. So you should feel that heart rate kind of racing. You're at that gear kind of 5 there in this workout. That's what we're trying to get after in this one. So a higher intensity. So make sure progressions that you choose allow you to do that. It's not held back by strength. It's just held back by the cardio for this one. Workout for Friday. This one, we know that we're working on cleans. So we're going to go back to our progression of working on halting squat cleans. I like this because it helps us focus on the bottom position and really clean up how we pull that bar up off the ground. It makes us really be focused and intentional with it. So we're basically lifting the bar off the ground, getting to that mid thigh and holding it for 3 seconds before we get into the clean from there. So it's going to force us to focus on the bar path from the ground to the mid thigh, which is a critical bar path. If we go around the knees, the bar is going to end up in front of us a little bit more. If we focus on getting the knees back and kind of keeping the bar close, the bar is going to stay more in the center of our mass and closer to our body, which is going to allow us to be more efficient with doing the clean. And essentially, as we get more efficient, we're going to get stronger, and we're going to be able to lift more load too as well. So focus on that for the halting squat cleans today. And then you can look back at previous weeks to see how you did on that one. So 2 weeks ago to compare. The workout after that, this one is a for time workout. So we're going to get through it once, and once we're done, we're completed. So you got 15 minutes to go through it. It is a couplet. So we're going single arm overhead lunges for 3 reps, and then burpees for 3 reps, then 6 and 6, all the way up till 15. So we're going up to 15 in 3s, and then we're going to go back down in 3s, back down again. So this one, when I'm looking at this workout, lower body, legs, like that's going to get fatigued. The upper body is going to fatigue, and plus the burpees. A lot of this is going to be, I would say, some muscle endurance involved in it, and some conditioning too, I would say, on top of it. So as the reps go up, the fatigue is going to build up. But once we get to the 15s and we're working back down, it should be like, okay, now let's put the pedal to metal and kind of push a little bit more than we did in the first half of the workout. So in this workout, just try to maintain a good pace, and then have some in the reserve for that last half of the workout. That's where you want to push it when you go on the 12, 9, 6, 3, working your way back down. Really try to push the pace on that one. The overhead lunges today, if you want to do walking lunges, if you want to do stationary, all good, either or, but keep the endurance stimulus factor in this one. So we want to feel that heart rate moving, but again, being challenged with a little bit of strength with that overhead lunge. So I will say muscle endurance, probably lower body more in this one. And then the conditioning, just the overall cardiovascular conditioning is going to be what we're going to get out of this. So following that up, Saturday, chipper workout, 1 time through, for time, 30-minute cap, 400-meter run, 40 kettlebell single arm cleans, 40 hand release push-ups, then 300-meter run, 30 kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls, 30 ring dips, 200-meter run, 20 kettlebell single arm cleans, 20 hand sit push-ups, and then 100-meter run, 10 kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls, and then 10 muscle ups. Any muscle up goes for this one. If you guys want to do, I'm going to put ring or bar, up to you. And if you want to do a progression today, like a jumping bar muscle up or a jumping ring muscle up, something that is going to mimic that movement a little bit more, go for it. This is already a ton of reps, and it's going to be pretty challenging by the end of that. So we got a lot of conditioning, endurance work, all the way to that end point. And the movements are getting a little bit more difficult as we move forward. And we got some good kind of monostructural conditioning here. So that means the running, we got some weightlifting, and then we got some gymnastics in this. We got all 3 in this workout to elicit a really good strength and conditioning stimulus from this workout today. So if I were you in this one, really just being cautious of pace going into it, not going too fast in that beginning phase, and just kind of seeing like how your body feels, because there's different muscle groups being challenged every single time, so it's not fairly consistent. So it's going to be a little deceiving from round to round, but the reps are going down, which helps with kind of the pacing a little bit. So just keep that in mind, how you want to pace it. Start off slower, and then you can kind of build up as you go. Other than that, it's a good Saturday workout, and then we're going to also end off our week with a good Sunday workout with partners or individual. This is going to be intervals of Tabata. So we got Tabata kettlebell squats, rest 1 minute, Tabata L-sit or hollow hold, rest 1 minute, Tabata ring rows or strict pull-ups, rest 1 minute, and then Tabata handstand hold or plank hold, rest 1 minute, and then Tabata row. So we got endurance and intensity in this one, because it's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds off. So we want to get the most out of those 20 seconds. I will say there's some strength in this as well. So strength, let's say strength and endurance. Really, you're gonna getting a little bit of both in this one. The isometrics, like the holds specifically, and those are going to be tough on there. But this is going to be like an endurance like at a higher pace, so like a higher intensity, not your regular kind of like 10-minute, 20-minute workout where you're kind of pacing at this one. You're only working for 20 seconds at a time. So it's not a ton of time, but you want to keep the intensity high. So we're getting a little bit of intensity, a little bit of strength in this too as well. So, and you guys can do it in partners or individual. Adjust the progressions. Like we want something for lower body with the squats. We want something for the core. We want something for pulling, and then we want something for pushing, specifically like a hold in a plank position or a handstand hold. And then we just got a good conditioning at the end with that row. If you do it in partners, go synchro. If you're doing individual, you're gonna go through this by yourself. Synchro, try to match the rhythm of the movement, coordinate it with your partner there. Other than that, that's a week of programming, guys. Hope you're excited to attack it, and we'll see you guys next week for the next set of programming.